Chap Tales. Don't you wanna hear some Chap Tales? Chappity Chap Tales. How you doing, people? Are you good? I hope you are. Okay, so another chap tale for you. I thought it might be funny. It was quite a funny day. Anyway, another fishing one for you. Okay, so when I've spoke about fishing, carp fishing in the past, over other episodes or whatever, I always say that we used to go up Hampstead Heath because it was on our doorstep. And yeah, did a lot of our fishing on that heath because the place is full of carp and it's not that well known. So, do you know what I mean? But if you're a carp fisherman and you've never fished the heath before, give it a go, mate. There's loads of rules being put in place now, so speak to the parkies before you set up, otherwise you might make a wasted trip. Okay, so anyway, right, this day I was indoors. It was early morning, Saturday morning, and I was bored and I just didn't know what to do. So, and there weren't none of my pals about. So I was like, right, that's it. Going fishing. So got my gear ready and that. Got my Jack Russell Lennon and off we went. Just walked over the heath with like my rod bag and a rucksack and just like a little store something. I can't remember what it was, some fold-away chair or something easy to carry. Went over there, decided to go to the boating pond, which is Parley 3. In between the men's swimmer and Parley 4, which is like a bird sanctuary sort of pond and all that. Anyway, got there. There was about 3 other fishermen on the lake. I knew all of them. One of them was called Paul Rennie. I think it was another one called Tiny, another one called Ed the Duck and all that. So they're all plotted out ran different swims, basically on 3 banks. Like, so there was one bank left that I didn't usually fish that often, but I thought I can't go and like muscle in on any of them 3. So I thought I'll go on this bank. So I went on the bank that's it's not next to Millfield Lane, it's the one across the lake from Millfield Lane. If that means anything to anyone, doesn't matter. Alright, so set up, yeah, got everything ready, boom, and then cast it out, and then I was sitting down playing with my Jack Russell Lennon, just having, do you know what I mean? Like, and I'd waved at all the other fishermen and that, and so anyway, I'm sitting there, and then boom, I've only been there 40 minutes, something like that, and none of the other 3 have had anything because I spoke to Ed the Duck because he was like on the bank just round the corner from me, and I spoke to him and he had said that him and the other 2 have not had anything. So I was like, okay, well, let's have a go. So yeah, so I'm sitting there and boom, my rod screams off and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And they're all looking at me like anger, just steam coming out their ears. So I struck into a fish, and then so I'm like thinking I'm gonna be playing like £20 carp or whatever, but this it's like you can feel something's on the line, but it's just coming in easy as anything, right? So I got it like down near the side of the bank, put the landing net in, got it in the net, lifted it out of the water, and it was like a tiny skimmer bream, like little silverfish, tiny, and it was just ridiculous. Like, so I lifted it out of the net on this hook, like a size 6 hook I think I was using. It was like practically the size of the fish. So I had it like that in the air, and the other 3 are just cracking up, like they're just all laughing and think, oh, whatever. So I unhooked the fish, made sure it was all sweet, and then put the fish back into the pond, let it swim off and get on with its day. So I was like, all right, take that one on the chin, you know what I mean? So then I cast back out to where I was, chucked out some 3 baits and stuff like that, sat back down with the old Russell, old Lenny, and I think even the dog was looking at me as if to say, that ain't what you usually catch. And yeah, so I was just there, and then boom, it's gone again, the alarm, right? Not like some carpy, big, massive, whatever, but it was going. So I struck into it, and then again, this time it's coming in easy, but it's feeling like a bit of a weight, like dum, 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 as it's coming along, like, so, and I'm thinking, what is this? Like, is this a carp with a broken leg or something? You know what I mean? Like, so I get it right in close and then lift it up out of the water. And what is it? It's a flipping crayfish. It was a quite big one as well. I swear to God, I should have took it down Pret and made them cook it for me. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's just like, it's not hooked, it's just hanging on, you know what I mean? So I just shook my line a bit and it dropped into the water. And I'm looking across at the other three, and they are cracking up, like they think this is proper funny, right? So I was like, no, I was determined to catch something just to shut them up. But so anyway, I cast out again, boom, baited again, boom, done everything, sat back down with the dog, and then again, it's just like not screamed off, but it's like, I don't know, like little, it was weird. It was a weird run, and it had happened just after casting out as well. Like I'd only just put it on the buzzer, and it was like pulling very weirdly, like. So anyway, struck into it, and then boom, this one felt like a fish. Like it felt, I don't know, it was like not like anything I'd ever caught before. It didn't feel like a carp, didn't feel like a tench. It just, I don't know, it was just weird. So anyway, start bringing it in. Anyway, when I get closer to the bank with this, whatever it is, a towel comes out of the water and splashes and that, and then the other three can see that I've actually got a fish on. So boom, I can see the ducks walking around to me and just to see what's going on. So in the end, I land it and I pull it out of the water, and I'm looking at this net, and I ain't joking, it is a pike. It's the only pike that I've ever caught in my life, and it was about, I don't know, it was a jet pike, so it was about under £5, but it was there in the net, and I was just looking at it, and I was looking around, like, and I think Ed the duck had just realised that it weren't a carp, and he was just laughing or whatever, weren't coming around no more, like, and I was thinking to myself, I don't have forceps, so there's no way on God's pretty little earth that I am putting my hand anywhere near a pike's mouth. So I'm shouting to Ed and that, and I'm saying, come, please come and help me, and he wouldn't, he was just like, nah. So in the end, Paul Rennie from the other side has left his gear with someone, I don't know who, but he's walked round to me, like, and he's like, he's got a pair of forceps with him, but they're quite small ones. But I was like, Paul, mate, I was like, I can't take that hook out of this fish, no way. And he's like, don't worry, I'll do it for you, mate. So anyway, he's unhooked it all nicely or whatever, and I actually did hold it for a photo, and yeah, it was just nuts. Coming carp fishing, and I've had a crayfish, a skimmer bream, and now a pike. Anyway, after the photos and that, we put it back in the water, let it go, swim off nicely, whatever. They all went back round to wherever they was plotted on the lake. And then I was sitting there and I was thinking, God, man, I am having a bit of a weird day today, and I'll just, do you know what I mean? So anyway, cast that again, same spot, whatever. That pike was obviously chasing them skimmer bream. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, so I'm back out there, I'm sitting playing with the dog and that, whatever, and then a good hour went by, nothing. And really in that lake, you've got to keep checking your baits, because the crayfish just massacre anything, you know what I mean? So I thought I'd bring my rod in and fucking change the bait or whatever. Yeah, so anyway, so I'm reeling in, boom, and then all of a sudden, it's obviously hooked onto something, because the rod bent right round like that, yeah, and like it was hooked to the bottom, what I thought, like some sort of log or something, like. But I could see the other three looking at me, and I thought, I'm gonna wind you right up here. So I was like that. I was holding the rod and I was shaking my hand as if a fish was pulling me, and I had it all bent round like that, and I was like, fucking hell, it's a big one. So obviously at this point they thought he has got something on, so they've all run round and they're like, oh, how's it feel? So for a good 5 minutes, I'm winding the life out of these 3 fishermen, right? And then after 5 minutes or so or whatever, I just can't carry on no more. I'm just like laughing, and they're like, what? And I was like, it's not a fish. I'm up to the bottom. And they're like, whatever. So we're all talking, and then anyway, I'm pulling in all different ways, trying to get it in without snapping up. So I think it was Tiny said to me, just like face your rod to where it is in the lake and walk backwards, like as if, and see if it'll come in, like, do you know what I mean? So I did that, and then boom, I could feel whatever I was hooked into, it was dragging along the bottom of the pond. So I said to them, I said, oh, well, it's coming in or whatever, at least I'll get a log out of the way, and no one else is going to get all caught up on it or whatever. So I brought it right into it. It was like, boom, in the drink, right under my feet, at the side of the bank, like. So I was half thinking, do I want to put my hand in this lake, you know what I mean? Like with the crayfish, they're like flipping monster lobsters. So anyway, I followed the line down with my hand to the whatever, into the water. And then when I felt what it was sort of hooked to, I was thinking, what is that? So I was like, I grabbed it and I just thought, I'm just going to not try and unhook it. I'm going to take it out of the lake. So I lifted it out of the lake, and I'm not joking, it was a boat. It was somebody, because that pond is like a boating pond as well, like where I don't know what the rules are now. So if you're going there, give Deef a call or whatever and find out what the rules are. But it used to be like a boating lake as well. So I pulled this boat out of the water and laid it on the bank or whatever, yeah. And then I've looked round at them 3 and my dog, and I swear to God, all 4 of them was all cracking up. They were just on the floor. They was laughing. They was going, Chapman, you are the best carp fisherman in the world. And I was thinking, you bastards, man. So I was like, oh, God. I said, and that is my cue to do one. So I'm off ski, mate. So I unhooked my hook from this boat, packed all my gear away and all that. And I had it all packed up and that. And then another fisherman arrived, not with their gear, just, I can't remember his name actually, but he's seen this boat and he's like, what's that? And I was like, oh, I just fucking pulled it out of the water, didn't I? He's like, oh my God. He's like, can I have it? And I was like, yeah, if you want. Why? And he goes, I'm going to make it into a bait boat. And I was looking at him and I was thinking, it's like a fucking galleon, you know what I mean? You're going to have that plotting around the pond, dropping boilies, are you? And I said, you can have it, mate. And the other 3 was just in tears. It was just like they was like, Chapman, man, you've made this day worthwhile, even though no one's caught anything properly. Like, I said, what do you mean? I've had a £5 pike and a half an ounce skimmer bream. And it was like, yeah, but you didn't come here to catch that, you know what I mean? You came here to catch carp, and none of us have done that. And I was like, and you're very right, and that's why I'm off. So I was like, I just got my gear, got my dog, and me and Lennon walked off into the sunset. Yeah, and I left them, walked home, got home, just sat down with like a glass of orange juice in my kitchen, and I was just like, what is going on here? Like, but it was funny because like the other fishermen that live on Ingester Road, like my proper mates and that, like Dean and I can't even remember who else, could have been Cookie, do you know what I mean? But they obviously heard this story from the other fishermen on the lake because they knew them as well, you know what I mean? It's like coming down the stairs to see them all, like, and they're like, oh my God, it's the best carp fisherman in the world. And I just couldn't live it down for a little while. But that was the first and only time that I caught a pike. Crazy. All right, well, I hope that brought a smile to your face. And love you. All right, nice one. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, smash bells, and all that sort of stuff. You know the score. All right, speak later. Bye-bye. Chat Tales. Don't you wanna hear some Chat Tales?